This is every single gadget in Brawl Stars, and today I'm going to get an elimination with every single one. Some of them are very easy and take one try, some of them will probably take 100 attempts to complete, but anyways, let's get started with Shelly, and she was easy to go through. I got fast forward gadget surprisingly done in the first match, and Clay Pigeons is just good, so very easy pickup as well. Now just 182 gadgets to go. Next up is Nita, and her gadgets don't actually deal damage, but the stun does help, so this was pretty simple. However, the Fox Fur gadget is just a shield, so to count this kill I made it so the shield had to be active and the bear had to get it, which was quite tough. For example, I didn't count that, but eventually I got a perfect throw and Maisie got absolutely destroyed. Yes! Next up was Colt, and he has two easy gadgets, so Speed Loader and Silver Bullet were no struggles for me. Now it's Bulls' turn, and here I didn't know what to count because his T-Bone gadget is just a heal. So I used it before getting an elim, and just as I got one, which I think is fair. With Stomper, I had absolutely no doubt, and so it's time for Brock with one of the lowest damage gadgets in the game. I thought that this was gonna be difficult, but in my second game I got a perfect opportunity and I got it surprisingly easily. His other gadget was just as simple to get, but one that wasn't was El Primo's throw. I was playing on one of the worst maps possible with like no walls, so I had to always wait for the end game, which wasn't going that well. The throw had to be pretty much perfect, and even if it was, enemies could run back most of the time. Along the way I had a funny strategy, which was to throw a buzz and he would get an elim every single time, but I couldn't count it. I was also throwing my enemies over me, but that's technically not a gadget kill, so I kept going until I finally got a perfect chance. I have to bait his super. Oh my gosh, yes, I finally got it. I still had his Meteor gadget to go, but I somehow got it done with no problems. Next up is Barley, and his slow gadget was extremely easy, however he had another heal gadget, but it was more passive, so I think it's fair to accept this. Healing wasn't done here, and next up was Poco's Tuning Fork gadget, however I got it done in my second game. Protective Tunes on the other hand was a lot more matchup dependent, but luck was on my side and I found a Crow, which was an easy pickup. Rosa it is, and this bush gadget wasn't anything special, however I got extremely lucky with unfriendly pushes, which is one of the hardest gadgets to complete. Now it's time for some Jessie with slow, and this gadget is just so good, so I got it in my first try. Her speed gadget was a bit more of a struggle for me, but after a small grind I did eventually get it not once but twice in the same game, which was quite fire. Dynamite was up next, and I surprisingly got Fidget Spinner done in the first game, and I don't think I need to show the stun. It's just a disgusting gadget. I still wasn't done with throwers, and Tick had a great start with Mind Mania, however Last Hurrah was a lot harder. It deals just about 1k damage, and it's just not great for getting kills. I had to be really careful with the damage I dealt before using it, but I eventually managed to make it work. It's time for the slowest brawler in the game, but I actually pulled through with his TP gadget quite quickly, and I think this is the first time extra credits actually helped me get an elim. To finish day 1, I got a kill with Rico's multiple launcher, and I had a crazy endgame with Bouncy Castle, which was so close, but I got my kill, so I was happy. I finished the day with 28 out of 184 gadgets, so I have a long way to go. So day 2 it is, and I started it off with a recoiling rotator elimination, and Tar Barrel was also really simple to get. Now it's Penny's turn, and her Salty Barrel gadget was just a quick tap, however Trusty Spyglass is where it gets complicated. It's really hard to get a hit with it, let alone a whole elim. I was trying to make it work in any scenario, but it was respectfully useless. Penny also isn't a good Showdown brawler, but I still somehow got it done with fire, which is so lucky. I wasn't done with fire gadgets yet, and Carl has probably the best one in the whole game, and then I had to go for Flying Hook, which required a bit of strategy from me, but it worked out really nicely. It might sound weird, but Jackie has my third favorite elimination in this whole push, and no, it's not this, but it's with her Rebuild gadget. You might wonder, how can Rebuild be any creative? But on this particular map I can go through walls, which created this clip. These guys aren't ready. Haha, this is so good. Gus also has a really good gadget being Cookie Popper, however for his second one I just got a spirit and picked it up before getting a kill. Not much more I can do. So up next is Bo, and with the totem I thought it would make the most sense to get a kill with the mines I got from charging them up in the gadget, but it wasn't as easy as expected. I would either finish off with my main attack or enemies were slightly brain delayed. Surely that's it. Bibi, how did you miss that? But after a bit of corner camping with my mines on top of myself, I made it work. Finally, man. Tripwire is also a super basic gadget, but it was much easier to get it done. Next on the list is Ems, and she has a very hard gadget being Friend Zoner. I had to perfectly leave people on low HP, which isn't easy, but at some point I found a Dynamite, which was a perfect target to get it done. And after that, I went on a nice streak getting Acid Spray, Speed Zone, and Breakthrough. but this is when I had to do auto-aimer. This is the second lowest damage gadget in the game at just 170 damage, and this was so hard to get. Seeing a brawler below this HP is rare in itself, but having to gadget them from up close with Piper seemed impossible. There also wasn't a guarantee to hit it, and I was honestly losing it. I think it took about 30 games until this happened, but wow, this was so lucky. If he didn't use his gadget, it would be a fail, by the way. I think I got way too excited for that, but fortunately for me, her homemade recipe was a piece of cake. Now it's turned for Pam, and I'm not gonna lie, this has to be the most useless gadget. Just 800 bonus heal, but I still had to get through it, which I did. And then I found a completely clueless Edgar, but at this point I take anything. Next up is Frankie Boy, and I think he's glitched. Or bullies, because I still get stunned by him. Like look, I basically did the same thing with Buzz, but it worked this time. And then I quickly did whatever, the pull gadget. Up next we got BB with vitamin booster, and this has to be the best kill of this push. Not the Nani, but this bubble trick shot, like it's literally perfectly aligned, it's crazy. Extra sticky was a lot more basic of a kill, and then I started working on B. This slow gadget is really good, and I got a lot of eliminations with it, but they were all quite mid to be honest, until I found this Shelly. Oh, you can't move now. Haha, bro's shooting the wall and he gave up, no. Rattled Hive was a bit more surprising, but the Chinese dude stood no chance against me. It's Nani time, or I guess warping time, and this was the fastest elimination of this push so far. Return to sender took a bit more time, but I had a chance to play a bit of Nani, and oh boy was I popping off. I don't know how that's happened, because I'm not even a good Nani, but plays like this made me more confident and hopeful to get an elim with the gadget at some point, and soon enough I got it on Fang. It's time for one and only Edgar, and Let's Fly is probably the weirdest gadget for this challenge, so I got both an elim with the super I got from using that green button and a kill while having the effect running. That's all I can do. With the shield I didn't have that problem, and I spawned my red button like I have never before, but game's game, and Edgar was done. But this is when I started working on Greaves' piggy bank gadget, and this was the second longest grind for a single gadget in this whole video. Worst one is coming up later, but piggy bank was so unbelievably difficult. It takes like 5 business days to pop, and even then it deals just 1400 damage. Greave being good was also throwing me off because I didn't mean to one-tap him, man. I was honestly losing hope. I was wondering if this thing was even doable at all, because I couldn't even get it on an AFK player. However, after 1 hour I finally got a hit. And after another hour I found a small fight. Wait, this is my chance? No, he got him. Bro, this is so bad. Wait, I got it. I actually got it, let's go! This was definitely the longest 2 hours of my life, but I then had to do his coin shower gadget, which took just 1 game and a bit of trolling, and that's when I ended the day with 60 gadgets done. So on day 3 I had to pick up the pace, and so I started with the watchtower. Then I got a clean free tap on Edgar with radio check, and I moved on to Bonnie, who also had simple gadgets like Sugar Rush and Crazy Test. Haha, that's so good. However, everything slowed down after I had to do Spring Trap. It's not even a bad gadget, but I had a major skill issue. What? Maybe this time? Nope. Mate, I'm not real. And this was the worst of them all. After this embarrassment, however, I finally locked in and I pulled it off. Oh my days, this is it. How was that even hard? Twister was a whole different story, and I got it done in my first try. Now it's time for my Glorious Queen, and both Naa and Gotcha were quick cleanups, which was nice. Up next is Bell, and these 2 gadgets are by far my highest IQ kills in this whole video. Miss on purpose so he doesn't heal. I said don't heal. Oh lol, I'm the smartest human ever. And I hit 2 trick shots. Nice, that's clean. Boom, I'm crazy. Now it's time for 2 boring gadgets, so Chill Pill and Rotten Banana are done. Lola it is, and I had a great start with Freeze Frame because I got not 1 but 2 kills. Wow, inspirational. Stunt Double, however, turned out quite fun. Yo, Dynamite, that's bad looks, man, how do you miss all 3? Sam is up next, and oh man, I got reminded how bad I am at this brawler. Doing anything was hard for me, but once I shook off the rust, I got Magnetic Field done, and a few games later, Pulse Repellent. This one is actually useless. To end the day on a positive note, I got Caramelized done, and shortly after that, Cookie Crumbs. I finished the day with 78 gadgets, nearly halfway done. So day 4 is here, and I started it off with a bang. I got Disengage, finish them. Water Balloons, Barricade, and Overcooked done, so I was feeling good. And then I had to do Mate with Love, which is interesting because it deals 0 damage. So for this elim, I decided to just waste my first shot, and then I was allowed to get that kill, and Pearl was now done. Something that also does like 0 damage is Larry's Order Swap gadget, and that shotgun form, wow, this is a beast. Just a tickle monster, you could say. It was so bad, my bot got a kill before me, but I didn't want to count that, so I kept going, and I actually found a free Edgar, so I take it. And I don't think I have to say much about his other gadget. There is a reason why everyone is using it and Larry was done. Angelo also has a tickle gadget being the jump, however I can basically choose how much damage I deal and I completed it in just one game. Pierce was even easier and I was done with the brawler in 2 games. Angelo is just so lovely. Now it's time for some berry and the knockback gadget went pretty much perfectly, but I didn't come up with anything for healthy additives, so I just got on a limb after clicking the gadget. Fortunately, Shade wasn't confusing and long arms were done in one game, however jump scare was something I didn't expect. 4 seconds slow with a 9-second cooldown sounds amazing and I was wondering why is no one using it until I clicked it. Yeah, the radius is a joke. Also, I couldn't tell if I even hit it because the visuals are bad, but I eventually found a Gale who was kind enough to take this completely unnecessary 50-50. I'm never using this again. Now I had an easier gadget to hit being Meeple's box. Maybe the damage wasn't the best, but it turned out to be just enough to get this surge. Rage Quit was also really simple to get done, and then I completed the fastest elimination with Mortis. Come here, Meeple, where are you going? Nah, I kinda feel bad, but that's combo spinner done. Even though Mortis is like my worst brawler, I completed him the fastest, which is quite weird, and a push that was also weird was Tara. For some reason, I had 500 spectators just for me to do this. What a super from you after. A few games later I was fortunately able to redeem myself because wow, I'm terrible. Support from Beyond went a bit better, but it wasn't that easy because of the speed pad. However, I just had to avoid it, I hit an easy pull and I was quickly done with Tara. Fortunately, my Jhin isn't as bad as Tara, so Lamp Blowout was an easy pickup and Vengeful Spirits was just me tickling this Clancy until he was in the gadget range. So now Max is here and I did Phase Shifter in 2 ways. I used it as I got a kill and I clicked it to get a kill, so it's comfortably completed. I know a lot of you were waiting for sneaky sneakers, but I genuinely enjoyed using this gadget and I got a lot of value from it twice, which I was really shocked about. Next up is Mr. P with 2 horrible gadgets, however Service Bell is slightly better because the penguin deals more damage. In my second game I was already close, but Cord wasted his gadget just for that. And then I found the perfect brawler, Miko. He kept on going for my turret and I realized that he will be struggling against my penguins, so I used that to my advantage. Bro, it's getting close. Please, nice, let's go. However, Portal Reinforcements wasn't that easy to complete. Are you serious? The damage is much lower and it's easily destroyable. Also, they weren't hitting at all because of the speed pad and I was struggling for a while. But then I found a perfect Rico. It was kinda funny seeing him struggle, but that's when I did this. That's probably my last chance this game. Honestly, maybe? Yes, I got it. Sprout it is, and I had to do Garden Melcher, which is like the worst gadget, but in my first game, just because of it, I won a 1v1 against Miko, so I think it's fair to count whatever that interaction was. Transplant also was quite quick. After blocking the crow, I 2-tapped him, and I was happy I was done with this brawler. Another heal gadget, this time with Byron. Extremely boring, I just counted anything at this point, and the booster shots was easy to do as well. So then I got an elim with Wind Up, Residue, Ice Block. Nope. And one of my favorite, Cryo Syrup. Oh my gosh, this is literally perfect. Also, I then did take cover with ease, but air support is when problems started to arise. The gadget is obviously meant for zoning, and that's what it was doing, but it just wasn't it for me. Getting a hit with it felt impossible, but even if I got one, it was just 1200 damage. Game after game, fail after fail. I honestly saw no progress for the first hour or so, but then I got hard trolled. Okay, this has to work. Oh my days, did they do it? Absolutely not. This Gale went to the zone. After that, I was getting closer with every game until I finally found a big mess in the middle, which I used pretty much perfectly. Fortunately for me, the next few gadgets were easier, and so I did Reserve Boy, X-Ray, Shades, Cornfu, and Roundhouse Kick. With Eve, however, it wasn't that simple because for Gotta Go, I decided to get a kill with the hatchling and not just the jump. This little thing is just so incredibly weak that no matter the brawler, it was destroyed in the blink of an eye. But even if it didn't, it wasn't what I was looking for. Please, that's surely it. What? Luckily for me, I got a very similar second chance like this one, but a bit more funny. The guy actually gave up and I just used him to get it done. I don't care, I'm too shameless not to count that. So I then went on to Motherly Love, and honestly this gadget isn't even that bad. The heal actually did a lot and I was done in pretty much no time. So I'm back again with one of the lowest damage gadgets in the game, but this time I got extremely lucky with this fight in my 5th game. Backstage pass was even easier. I got it done first try, nice and simple. Next up is Otis with Dormant Star, and this was an easy elim. Once I baited this boss, I knew it was completed. And so then I did Fat Splatter, Utility Belt, Slow-mo Replay, and walking cane, which were all very simple gadgets. But it's time for the worst gadget of this video, grand piano. This thing was truly horrific. It's like the El Primo Meteor gadget but 5 times smaller and with less damage. The only good thing about it is that I can control it, but that didn't help at all. I was trying anything, but it was genuinely pointless. Pre-firing didn't work, using it in the endgame didn't work. At the 1 hour mark I got quite close, but still not quite close enough. No matter the scenario, it seemed to always be too late or I was getting trolled. Wait, did I get it? No, but it was actually close. So I kept on trying and I was getting closer, but I started throwing by myself. However, after sitting there for 2.5 hours, my plan finally paid off. Okay, this has potential. Yes, oh my gosh, this took nearly 100 games, so I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe. And so the next few gadgets were much more simple, like out of line, hacks, spellbound, dive. Nah, that's literally how I wanted it to go, let's go. Then I had to do another 0 damage gadget, but luckily this Cordelius was kind enough to get into my range. Extra mustard was also no struggles at all, but then I had to do rerouting. Chuck in Showdown is weird to play, but after building the most optimized track, this gadget was very easy to complete. Ghost Train on the other hand was a lot harder, because I had no idea when I should go in since I couldn't see that much, but I got it done with like the weirdest setup I have ever cooked up, which meant I ended the day with 136 gadget eliminations, which was a huge improvement. And so day 5 is here and I started it with a bang. I got spiders done in my first game and then I started working on personal space, but this one was slightly weird because it has horrific delay after getting out of the cocoon. But once I got used to it, I got a couple of kills with it and in no time Charlie was already done. And so I then got clipping stream. Presto. Perfect pitch. Oh my, this thing is underrated. Interlude. Vanish. Oh, this bull doesn't know. Bro, how's that close? Repot. Snapshot shooting, for which I just got a kill with upgrade, tactical retreat, dodgy digging, and here I used the super I got from that gadget. Rat race, which doesn't deal damage, but knockback is there. Voodoo chill, chili, who knows when. Elementalist, haha, the slew. And then the ollie jump gadget, but I didn't want to be boring with the super trick everyone is using, so I got more of a nicer elimination on this Shelly. And quickly after that, I did all eyes on me with ease, but now it's time for Lumi. Lumi has 2 extremely hard gadgets to get a kill with, and hit the lights is one of them. Just 360 damage is not a lot, and pressing it at the right time was pretty difficult to me. But luckily for me, Lumi is a broken brawler, so I got it done in about 15 games, which I was so surprised about. However, this wasn't even the worst gadget out of the 2, because Grim and Frostbitten deals just 120 damage. I honestly expected to sit there for several days because it genuinely felt impossible. Seeing a brawler below 120 damage is a miracle, and getting a hit with this gadget is not even a guarantee. However, in my 10th game this happened. Oh, Meeple? Haha, I got it, no freaking way, it was so easy. I still don't know how I got it that fast, and the push catapulted from here. I got back to fixture, no escape. Ah, that's unlucky, Cold. That's really unlucky. Weekend Warrior? Stu, why are you trying, man? Nice. I'm dead, I don't care. Time for a slow song was also really simple to complete, and I am now in the legendary brawlers territory with spikes popping pincushion. Deleted, bro. And life plant was a bit closer, but one of the best kills in this push. And the next few gadgets went by extremely fast, just like defense booster, slowing toxin. Okay, that's an overkill, but free Q Colette. Clone projector. Aye, we shooting the wrong Leon, bro. Lollipop drop was a bit more tricky, but I decided to count it because Grey had no idea what was going on. Sandy had one of my favorite aliens with sleep stimulator. Oh no. What? Why did Lily run away? Sweet Dreams is just broken, not much to be said. Amber also has 2 broken gadgets, but I was on power 9, so a slight obstacle, but I still did Firestarter and the Dancing Flames with a lot of fun. Hit gadget, woo, so exciting. I think I might be the first person who has used Toolbox not just to tank ammo, but to actually get the reload buff. And then I quickly did Power Surge, Power Shield, Spicy Dive, which actually took some tries because of that stupid heal super, but once I got a usable one, I completed it effortlessly. And after that I got Candy Beans, which I got really lucky to get damage, and luck also didn't leave me for this insanely close replanting Elin. With the Cord Mute, I wasn't sure if I should get a kill in the middle of mute, but I went with just a finishing tap, which actually ended the day on 176 gadgets complete. So day 6 is here, and the map was horrible, but Kids' invisibility definitely wasn't. However, I now had to do Cheeseburger, and it's the only gadget in the game which isn't clear applicable in solos, so just for this one I played duos. Not an interesting gadget anyway. So it's time for some Draco now, and I accidentally played duos where I actually completed this gadget, but I wanted to keep everything in solos, so I did the same thing there. Oh lol. And with last stand I had some fun. Thanks, shoot me. Okay, thank you. Now we wait for him to get me low, I kinda feel bad. And now I'ma just kill him, I am actually evil. So I then quickly dashed through this crow and then another heal gadget. Wow, so amazing guys. And so it's last 2 gadgets left and they are for Kaze. For both of them I just used their abilities, and so I did that with speed from Gracious Host and invisibility from Henso Jutsu. Come here, Carl. And there we go, we are done. Or are we? Ali was just about to release and editing takes some time, so I did unlock him, and I would feel bad for not getting a kill with his gadgets, and so I did. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and see ya in the next one.